When I think of travel and a bear, I can't help but remember this road trip my mom took me on. We went to this tiny zoo in some small town nobody's ever heard of because they had a new panda exhibit. The trip went so badly, it was almost funny. I mean, sure, the zoo did have pandas, but almost every other animal they had were animals people commonly keep as pets, like snakes, ferrets, and rabbits. It was like we drove all that way just to visit a glorified pet store. And to top it off, it was the middle of winter, so the zoo was freezing. We were bundled up like we were trekking through the Arctic and yet still freezing. We had a couple of dogs that were part of the family, but my younger brother turned out to be allergic to them. I remember how devastated I was when my parents sat us down and explained that Tommy's allergies were getting worse and we had to get the dogs away. I mean, we found good homes for them, but it didn't make the goodbye any easier. I moved into a new apartment less than a year ago, and for the first time in my life, I have a place that allows pets. So I have a dog now for the first time since I was very young. He's a Chihuahua named Spock. You mean like a Barbie dream house? No, I never had one. But back in college, studying criminology, we played with model houses all the time. It was part of our training exercises. I actually had to use one now that I'm coroner. Okay, I was working on this Ravenwood case, right? Historian guy, dead in his house, walls covered in what looked like protection spells straight out of local folklore. He died from blunt force trauma, and his dealing with death every day messes with your head a little, a lot. Not in the way people think. It's not the bodies that get you, it's the stories. Every one of them is connected to some crime or tragedy. I have had cases where a single decision ruined 5 lives in 10 seconds. Like stupid, reckless stuff like drunken fights, botched robberies, revenge plans that spiraled out of control. Even small crimes can spiral until someone ends up on my table. When I graduated college, I didn't know much about New Orleans. I was just looking for a place to start my career, and it turned out that the best job offer came from New Orleans. So I packed up and made the move, not really knowing what to expect. Now I absolutely love it there. I couldn't imagine moving anywhere else. Crime in New Orleans? Yeah, it's got a bit more crime than your average city, but overall, it's still a pretty safe place to live. The real kicker is Mardi Gras. those 8 weeks are insane. Everyone works overtime, and it's still just not enough. The city goes nuts, and we're just trying to keep up with all the craziness. And then, well, there's the superstitions. You can't go a month without someone blaming a crime on voodoo or the Rougarou or some other supernatural nonsense. It's like, come on, people. You got to sort through all that folklore to get the real story. But hey, that's what makes New Orleans, New Orleans. Well, Santa is a criminal, if you think about it. He breaks into over 1 million houses every year. You can't just break into someone's house and leave them presents. He even seems like a criminal in my dream. He has a sack and he's quietly gathering our presents from the dresser drawer. It's almost like he's robbing us. Wait a minute. He is robbing us. Wait, I remember a little more from my dream now, okay? I was in the hallway, looking into my parents' bedroom as he was filling his sack. I'm being quiet as I can, hoping he doesn't hear me, and I'm feeling this chill from the window. He came in. He's not Santa Claus at all. He's just some guy. Yeah, I was peeking around the corner, watching him from the reflection in my mom's vanity mirror, hoping he wouldn't see me. He's stuffing his backpack, and when we heard this rustling it was from the closet, and he froze and looked at the closet, and whatever was inside came bursting out. Oh my God. Tommy. It was my brother Tommy. This isn't a dream. No. This is a memory. I was awake when Tommy died. He came bursting out of the closet with Chekhov's phaser, and he tried to stun the burglar, and the burglar, seeing this kid popping out and aiming a gun at him, he just shot him in panic and escaped out the window. I looked at Tommy, but the hole in his chest, it was huge, and I couldn't think. I just wandered around, and I must have crawled back into bed. And when my dad woke me up the next morning, I guess I must have just blocked it out. No wonder I blocked it out. I'm the reason Tommy died, don't you see? I was too lazy to keep him out of Dad's stuff, so I told him that stupid lie about the Star Trek props, and that they were real, and that's what got him killed. He tried to stun the burglar with Chekhov's gun because he thought it was a real working phaser.
Jennifer, you need to understand you are not responsible for your brother's death.
Not directly, but if I hadn't lied to him, he would still be alive. Why do you think my dream started 8 months ago instead of years ago?
I noticed that you got your dog Spock about 8 months ago. Is this the first time you've cared for someone since you used to look after your little brother?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is.
This explains quite a few things you mentioned.
So do you think my nightmares will stop now?
Now that your memory is out in the open, you can approach it in a healthy way. It should no longer interfere with your sleep.